Hello my friends, let's go straight to the front lines. According to the deep state military map source, Russians still have their presence in Kamensk village and also in Plavny. So the information about the successful Ukrainian counterattack, well, it's quite limited. Some sources reported that Ukraine took Plavny and now the fight is ongoing in Kamensk itself, but I don't have like 100% reliable proofs of this information. What I have, however, is the video evidence of how Russians tried to advance towards Stepnoyrsk. Well, this assault totally failed for them. You may see it was their convoy, so one hangar vehicle, another hangar BMP and one more hangar tank which was stopped. Also, if I put my image a little bit up, you might see a couple of more Russian vehicles. Those losses happened not just because of the single Russian midwave attack, no, there were at least 3 according to my information. And in their last attempt, Russia tried to offense using this tank. Well, the tank is no-go, as you may see, it was stopped. Also for Russians, the situation is kind of not good because there are no tree lines to hide, no trenches in this area. So even if infantry survives and lands from their vehicles, they don't have the place to hide. That means at one point it's good to advance at the flat terrain without any obstacles, but on the other hand, where can you make the bridgehead for your army? Open field is not a variant. You have to use engineering equipment to dig down the trenches or take nearby villages with ruined buildings. That's the only way. So for now in Zaporizhia direction, Russia is still unable to create a significant bridgehead to advance further. Their next attack attempts just fail. At the same time, Ukraine tries to counterattack with also kind of limited success. That's why it's really hard to say who is winning in this very small spot of the front lines. Right, to the other parts of the front lines, it is interesting that Ukraine is capable to strike Russian army far behind the front lines, for example, as it happened not long time ago in Hirnig. This used to be the Kurakhove direction, and Russians tried to send their armored vehicles closer to the front lines, with some of the supplies, obviously. So here's the Russian, again, BMP probably, and somehow Ukrainian drones were capable to fly that far away from the front lines, as well as the surveillance drones, by the way, and this is the result. It caused some of the wildfires. But the main thing that the convoy was kaputted, there was also the Russian UAZ vehicle and some sort of the pickup truck. I think that those Russian soldiers were definitely shocked because they were hit far away, far behind the front lines. Yeah, Ukraine is capable for that. If we go to the Kharkiv region, to the northern part of it, here you can see Russian advancement which happened more than a year ago, and the Russians occupied Lyboka village. Ukraine tried to counterattack, but still Russia keeps control over it. Well, Ukraine started to use aviation on Russian forces. So we have the geolocation and video confirmation coming from the place. Just look at how many kabooms out there. Nowadays, Ukraine is usually using French-made aviation gliding bombs. You can see 2 of the strikes on 2 of the Russian positions.
Double kill.
Alright, in my previous video I told you about the strike on the Russian military airfield in Krasnodar region. The NASA fire satellites confirmed the fire on territory. Locals reported about the significant fire on territory of the airfield, plus experts say that definitely the fire could be caused by Ukrainian strike. Plus Russia moved the little S-400 system from one place to another one, but also on territory of the airfield. Maybe it was the main target for Ukraine. Plus, we have the report that is coming from the Russian channels. Again, we have the NASA satellite confirmation that there is the radar, Russian long-range radar, which is located in Feodosia, that was probably attacked by Ukrainian army. Well, at least Russians say it like that. Right, and this is the munition storage on territory of Russia, Bryansk Oblast. There, Ukraine also used aviation gliding bombs to hit the facility with the Russian ammunition. Ukraine tries to eliminate or to disturb Russian logistics on the Russian territory. And now let's go to the eastern part of the front line. So it was yesterday, it is today. Russia increases the presence in this bridgehead from this direction towards Poltavka. Yeah, I think Ukraine was forced to leave Poltavka already because there is the river, the natural obstacle, and here Russia expands towards Rodensk. Again, I would say that they're very, very close already to this place. So again, yesterday, today, gray area expansion. Yeah, Rodinsky is just crucial for Pokrovsk and especially Mirnograd safety or security, it's better to say. About the Pokrovsk itself, again, Russia tried to go into the city with a small sabotage groups. So I have this map with the fire detection. Ukraine tries to hit Russians near Zelenivka, and Russians tried to get into the city. So fire was detected in Pokrovsk, in the central part, and in Zelenivka. It happened on 31st of July. I think I already reported about Ukrainian drone strikes on Russian sabotage group positions in the city center. But about Zelenivka itself, maybe it was the attempt of Russia to move towards Pokrovsk. Ukraine spotted the Russian convoy and demolished it. But nevertheless, the pictures like that, the attempt of Russia to get into Pokrovsk. But there, Ukrainian drones ambushed Russian positions, the buildings where they tried to hide. This is the latest data from Pokrovsk. It was published by the German journalist Ruzzia, and he refers to some of the drone images, saying that definitely Russians propel forward here. Sorry for this yellow color, but they were again spotted in the city. So one more sabotage group, probably they will be kaboomed as well. I just hope for it. But in general, the trend is not good. More and more Russian soldiers sneak into the city from different directions. About Chasiv Yar, well guys, the situation is without any changes. I would say that it was just the expansion of the gray area there, because Russians, judging on many of the videos coming, I cannot share many of them, but Russians were definitely kaputted. And if you haven't watched my last video from the frontline updates, well, there I spoke about the group of the Russian soldiers, including women who were deployed in an attempt to take this part of the Chasiv Yar under control, the Novopivnichny district, but it didn't work for them. So Chasiv Yar partially still under Ukrainian control. Well, Russia celebrates a day of the paratroop forces today. This is one of their speakers, Samovar. Samovar is the name of the wounded Russian individuals who lost all of their limbs. There are many of those who returned back to Russia, but somehow Russia propels just this single guy. He is always on TV, he is always in propaganda media. What about the rest? Well, they're just been forgotten. So VDV is the huge Russian celebration. Just some of the videos were filmed by Russians, posted on Telegram channels and in social media. Usually those who served in VDV or paratroopers, they swim in fountains, they drink a lot at this day in public places and just ruin the mood for everyone. Well, somehow this year the celebrations were not that epic and there were few of the VDV soldiers in Russia. Well, maybe because they're busy in Ukraine or they're just gone. As you might remember, Russia sent their VDV soldiers to Gostomel airport at the first day of the full-scale invasion, and all of them were kaputted. And I monitored the Russian channels, and none of them said about this tragedy for VDV forces at this first day. All of them are just drinking and celebrating. One more VDV celebration. Is it a new gesture for VDV? This guy looks like, what the hell are you doing? Slava VDV! Glory to VDV! Oh my god. This is definitely the Elon Musk style. Alright, Ukraine sent the sabotage group in occupied Melitopol. There are definitely some of the non-standard vehicles close to that building, and those cars were kaputted. The video was filmed on purpose. The person who was filming the video knew what is up to happen. Melitopol was the main target for Ukrainian full-scale counteroffensive in 2023, but Ukraine didn't even propel towards Tokmak. Well, it's good that Ukrainian military intelligence is capable for those sabotage missions really far away from the front lines. An interesting video: Ukrainians teach British soldiers of how to maneuver and fly FPV drones. Well, I think Brits, they already know how to fly the drones. The main thing is to focus on tactics.
How important is it that British soldiers learn how to use drones the way that Ukrainian soldiers have?
This is a Ukrainian instructor, and he teaches the tactics and the practice of how to use FPVs. Awesome, Europe starts to wake up and use the resources of allies. Ukraine is willing to help. Our guys, they have huge experience during this war. I would say that in general, our guys have more experience in using Western-made equipment and army vehicles and whatsoever delivered to Ukraine. A true, real experience compared to the soldiers of the NATO countries who use their equipment just for military drills. But our guys are in a full-scale, military, real fighting condition. And that experience matters a lot, not even speaking about the drones. This is the Russian soldier. Yeah, you can see the camouflage and everything. They probably had a good party, especially judging on this GBL sound system. Yeah, party didn't go well for this guy. Doctor is here. Doctor, you see, he's sweating. Okay, I need to find some proper drug because he used different strange drugs before. Initially, we think that it is the cook, a guy who is working in the kitchen for soldiers. So he said that the guy has the overdose. Cameraman says that this guy is from the 1st Russian battalion. Yeah, well, what can I say? Shit happens, and it's interesting what he put to the food for those soldiers under this condition. Yeah, for sure it doesn't look like the alcohol overdose. And guys, I'm planning to film at least one more video today, and please check out my channel for more videos, news updates, and I want to publish the information as it appears in news right away to deliver the most fresh updates. And it is possible just because of your support on Patreon. So if you're willing to motivate me to make my job possible, please join me on Patreon. The link for my Patreon is in the video description right below. Thank you so much for your awesome support. And if you don't have the opportunity to support me financially, just press your huge like to this video. By doing this, you also help me a lot. And guys, I wish you all a peaceful sky wherever you are, and have a great time.